Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do,
Just what to do, just what to do.
if what you're feeling is really true,
Is it really true? Is it really true?
just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Petito Show on Hamilton Radio. Guys, everyone and anyone who knows me knows I am the author of I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. I'd rather be a smartass than a dumbass, guys, because 31 years ago, I was a dumbass. But through the grace of God, I can honestly say now, 31 years later, I am a smartass. And yes, the word ass is in the Bible at least 40 times, and it means donkey, and that's what I was. Guys, we've all had a very rough few years all over the world, not just here. And unfortunately, a lot of people didn't make it. And I just lost someone very close to me, a young man, 25 years old, left a 3-year-old little girl from heroin. And you know, I'm saying that to say this. I'm also a recovery coach, and I'm also a nutritional health coach. My services to you are free. Please, please, please reach out. I want everyone out there to know you don't have to feel alone. There's always someone listening, okay? Go to my website, www.geripetito.com, and you'll see all my pages. If you think my book can help someone, because I do, you can go to Simon & Schuster's bookstore, Archway Publishing. It's on BAM, it's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, it's everywhere. And guys, listen to me. If you truly, truly, truly cannot afford my book, please reach out to me about that as well. I really want to help you. Having said that, guys, you know I always bring it, right? Well, honey, I'm bringing it today, all right? I've got, listen, Dean and Geri with me today. Say hello, boys.
Hi.
Hey, Dean,
Yeah,
what are
Jerry.
you doing over there? I'm over here.
Well, don't you know we're back together again?
Oh, I thought we split up. I didn't know.
Well-
Okay, I feel better now.
Oh, we did, but now we're doing it again.
Okay, I just get nervous when I don't see the hairs in your nose. That's all. I need to be
They're there.
close.
All right, be nice now, Jerry. We're going to do a little show here.
Oh,
and,
okay.
we're going to talk all about our big shows coming up in New Jersey.
Oh.
We got, yeah, you and I, you didn't know that, but we got.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. I
Oh,
get nervous.
Listen, you ain't got nothing to. Have you read Jerry's book, her book? Because it will calm you right down.
Oh, yeah, I did already. I needed
I
help.
think
She
you
already
need to
coached
read
me.
it again or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
But,
I
you
know. Well, I really need to be next to you because we're partners and that's what I need.
Well, any closer, you're going to see my underwear.
I like it that way.
Yeah, we got what, 3 shows, Jer? 4 shows coming up in New Jersey. I believe on the, what's the date? Remind me of the date.
They're January 25th, 26th, working on the 27th. We got the 28th, and we're working on the 29th. I'm tired already, just saying.
I didn't even know we got the 26th. Okay.
Yeah, we're
Hey,
working on things. Yeah, we're
yeah,
working.
we've got a big tour planned for next year, 2023, going all over. I think we might even end up in Kentucky, from what I'm to understand. Our producer.
Yeah, there is
Tom
something
Turgeon.
going on. How about we let Jerry know on everything? We'll come back as you and
Yeah, I
me.
think
How's that?
That's a great idea, Jerry.
Hey, Jerry.
Jerry.
Hey, guys. So listen,
Hey.
you know, let's tell everyone your names, okay? Angelo
I'll be in my
Capone.
real voice. Go ahead,
Angelo
Phil.
Capone. So,
I'm oh, now I can see everybody.
okay,
I'm Phil Solis.
Phil Solis.
I'm Angelo Capone.
So, everybody out there, you may not know this, but Angelo's a good friend of mine. And I've interviewed this guy many times, okay? He's been live in studio. I mean, the guy is off the frickin' charts as Jerry Lewis. Ridiculous. Okay? Now, I am so happy to hear that you're back with Dean. And Phil, I've been kind of stalking you guys and watching what you're doing. You're incredible. You are absolutely ridiculously incredible.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Jerry.
You know, how do you do it? Because listen, Angela, you're going to answer that question as well. I ask you that every time. I watch this guy, this nutty professor, this nut job, and I'm just like, how the heck does he do this? But now I'm going to ask you, because you're a newbie to me, how do you do it?
Well, you know, Jerry, I started impersonating Dean Martin. I grew up listening to Dean Martin, watching. My mom was a big Dean Martin fan. So we would watch the show every Thursday night, and she always had Dean Martin music playing in the house. And any kind of special that he would do, we would watch. So I started impersonating Dean Martin at a very early age to amuse my mom, really, and she got a big kick out of it. And later on, and when I was in high school, I went on to go on the radio and started writing my own music. I started writing very comedic songs. I worked with people like Weird Al Yankovic and Sulu and Damascus and of course Dr. Demento, who put it all together. That was his show. And then I went off to college, studied theatrical performance, and went into theater. Worked in Hollywood many years, and then picked up the Dean Martin thing kind of on a fluke. A producer came up to me and said, "Hey, I saw one of your videos. Would you mind doing Dean Martin for one of our shows?" I said, "Sure, I'll give it a shot." And I just started doing it then, and that was a long time ago. But I really fell in love with the character, and people have said, you know, if you did Sinatra, you'd get a lot more bookings. Yeah, but I'm not a Sinatra guy. You know, I don't feel the same. Not to say anything bad about Sinatra, but I just don't feel that same connection to Sinatra as I do to Dean Martin.
First of all, I have to interrupt you, and I usually don't, but I will. Whoever said that to you, shame on you. All right. First of all, Frank Sinatra is Frank Sinatra. Elvis Presley is Elvis Presley, right? Jerry Lewis is Jerry Lewis. Dean Martin is right up there. That's number one. Yeah. And number two, nobody does them. Not many people do Dean Martin. I think I know of one or two over the years, and not even as good as you. But first of all, that's what we need. We don't need another Frank Sinatra. We don't even need another Elvis. And I'm a huge Elvis fan. You know what I mean? We need this. This is incredible what the two of you are doing together.
Well, not to interrupt, but for me, you know, I come from humble beginnings where I first started with Robert Cabela, and I will always be grateful for that. And then
Robert's a Dean Martin also.
Yes.
Yeah, he was a Dean Martin, and he went. We all went our own way with the rap pack that we had, and then you know I was starting to develop, and you know I've been doing Jerry since I'm 9 years old, but I never took it serious as for making a career. And then when COVID hit, it really gave me the moment to say, "Hey, we're down. We got downtime. Let me come up with shows. Let me develop what I do." I mean, I made 70 different videos already, and I brought the Kelf family as my theme because you need something of a what is it? Not an act, but a glitch to make people say, "Oh, that's what Angelo's doing with that," versus he's just doing. Yeah. So here I was, you know, wanting to doing my Jerry thing, but wanted that Dean because I wanted someone who gets me. And there I seen Phil, and I said, you know what? Let me call this guy. And we were on the phone, and I just felt like I was talking to him for all the years that I was with the guys doing the Rap Pack show, the Dean and Friends show, for those 3-4 years. And I just felt like my conversation with him was the same way. It was very natural. So then when I explained that, you know, I need someone who doesn't act, who gets what I'm doing, he said, "Stop there. That's what I want." So hearing that made me say, we got something here. And, you know, when Jerry and Dean got together, they said it was the lightning in the bottle. When me and Phil got together, it was magic. I felt the magic, and it's not even gold yet.
Yeah.
So what makes me look forward is the gold, reaching that gold, and bring it to people that have been missing classic entertainment and pure entertainment that we have lost. So I'm on a mission. I think Phil's on a mission. And I think this Martin Lewis that nobody's doing, and I don't think anybody's doing it the way we're going to do it.
No way.
That's going to be as close as the 50s and 60s, and even when they split, how they were.
Yeah.
And I think we have something here. Yeah, we're starting out. We got to get people to follow us. We got to get people, but it's got to start somewhere. And I think once it starts with these shows that are coming in January, we got a show by me that's for the public that that you have a promo on that I'll announce, and the others happen to be private shows that they didn't even hesitate. Yeah, we want Martin Lewis. We were like, okay. So the horse is at the cart and we're ready to go. And I think Phil is really the guy that's the horse that's next to me. And I think we're gonna make a good run at it.
Well,
What's amazing, if I can just add a little something to what
I want to just
Jared
tell you
was
guys a
just
hello.
saying.
Wait, Phil, 1 second. Dominic
Oh,
Paradise
okay.
just messaged me, and he said to say hello to both of you. Okay?
Oh,
okay.
Great.
Yep, and you guys
Hey,
are going to be
Dominic.
entertaining soon.
Dominic.
Okay.
He does the Frankie ballad.
So.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Oh,
Phil,
well, and
take the
my-
mic. Phil, take the mic.
When Angelo and I got on stage, our first show we did together, what was it, last June or July, something like that?
Yeah.
We just instantly had chemistry. We just, and that's, as a performer, that's so important to have chemistry with your fellow performers, because if you don't, the audience picks up on that. And
Right.
Angelo and I were up on stage and we were cracking each other up. We were doing shenanigans that were unscripted. And at one point, and this is one of Angelo and I think his wife's favorite parts, when I brought out, I had some red panties, but they looked like a red silk in my tuxedo. And I brought them out, and Angelo quickly grabs them and says, "Hey, I think these belong to that lady over there."
And what was great is he
Yeah.
came over and went,
Yeah.
this lady had me in the room and
No.
wouldn't let say.
I said, this gal's been knocking at my door last night for 45 minutes, but I wouldn't let her out. And then Jerry said,
I wouldn't let her in.
Oh, my God. You have
and that was
another,
all improvisation.
you have
It was just
another
an
message,
improvisation.
guys. Ina
So this is the
Vasquez.
kind of magic that Angelo's talking about here, I
Yeah.
think, when he says that we have magic. We really do. And I'm just so impressed by when he comes out as Jerry and he's doing these different characters, how he just takes the audience by storm, and the audience just falls in love with his character. And the second he just shows up, they start laughing their ass off.
No,
Oh,
you're
what's
right.
so fucking funny?
Just walks in the
Excuse my
room.
language.
Ina Vasquez.
But you know,
How about
Wait,
that?
Ina Vasquez is saying hello. Carlos and Ina Vasquez, they're listening.
Oh, hi,
So-
Carlos.
Yeah.
hey,
So you're
how you
right.
doing, guys?
He just walks
And
in
what-
the room.
Just to finish that conversation.
Yeah.
Like I said, every time I came out before I was coming out, when I came out the first time to Phil, I seen him looking at me, and he was my audience, and that's all I needed was him. And I said, long as I got him, the people will follow. They'll follow me because I'm performing to him. Because most of the time when I'm on that stage, if I'm doing I don't see nobody. I'm in character. It's not like I'm doing a song. I'm in character. I got to stay with that character. So when I was looking at Phil, I'm like, that's all I needed. There's my magic. He gets me.
Yeah.
And we just went. And he would take me. And that's something a lot of people don't know how to do with Jerry. To take Jerry. Because Jerry was the spot on guy and waited for the spot to be taken. Phil
Right.
knows that. And
Well-
I know the more we do this, I don't think we could have one person in the audience. We'll be okay with it.
Well, we have a
You know what I mean?
question from the audience for you.
Oh, good.
All right. So Ina Vasquez wants to know, did either of you ever meet the one you impersonate?
Oh, yeah. I met both of them.
Hmm.
Oh, I have a story. Phil, did you meet anybody?
Did you meet-
I've never
did
met
you-
anybody in my life. Are you kidding me? No, I never met. I met a lot of celebrities in my
Okay.
day, but I unfortunately never actually met Dean Martin. I wish I would have, but I know you
Me?
did. Yeah,
Me, I drove Dean for 4 days.
yeah.
He came to New York. He never came. He never wasn't a big traveler because he was claustrophobic. And he came to do a show for his son and his ex-daughter-in-law, Dorothy Hamill, at the time at Radio City Music Hall. And it was unbelievable. And then I took him to Ponte's restaurant and he took a picture with Joe Torre, and I was standing right there, and I was an idiot. I should have jumped in there, but I wouldn't do that.
I would.
Jerry, I have a whole story about Jerry Lewis that I shared on on my show, on her show,
Yep.
about me meeting him, but I never met him, and I'm looking to write a screenplay, or I have a movie out of it, and someone played me back in 1976 when I met Jerry, and then I seen Dean walk out on the telethon. So yeah, I was very involved, and that's why I am who I am today.
So I have a question for Phil.
Yeah.
All right. So you mentioned that when you were younger, you used to impersonate Dean. Okay.
Yeah.
And I've asked, listen, Angelo, the same question, and I love impersonations, and I ask every one of them the same question. I have to hear what you have to say. First of all, did it come easy to you? And second of all, how did you know you could do it and it would work? And like, what happened to you? How do you know that?
That's a great question. I would honestly say it was very natural for me because I think sometimes when we try so hard to do something, it kind of falls apart. It doesn't really work.
Amen.
We're trying to force it into being. When you're having fun with something, which is something Angela and I we have a lot of fun working together. And when I was a kid, kids are just about having fun. And I wasn't trying to be serious by any stretch of the imagination. I was just trying to get a chuckle out of my mom. And then later on in life, I've always, in fact, my wife, she likes to tease me about it because to this day I still write funny little songs, and I'll write her a funny little song. And it's just something that's very natural for me to do. I just enjoy doing it. In fact, if anyone would be interested, they could look up Phil Solis, The Ballad of the Rat. I mentioned that song because it was a big hit on the Dr. Demento show. And it'll give you an example of the kind of silly songs that I would write. I mean, who writes a song about a rat?
Yeah.
So could you give us a little some of it?
Could
you give us a little some of it?
You want to hear a little some of it?
On.
Yeah, me too.
Oh boy. Oh, well, okay. I haven't done this one in a long time, but it is very simple. It's something like the rat. It's invaded our streets, searching for eats, beating up children and stealing their treats. The rat. And it goes on from there. It's a silly song about a rat.
Oh my gosh. So how
Do you like that
young
one,
were you?
Ange? Do you like that?
Yeah, I like that.
How young were you?
I'm gonna write you a song, Ange.
Yeah, we got to write a Dean and Jerry song for you and me.
We should. We'll have
Yeah,
Nancy.
definitely.
We'll have
I'll be
Nancy
looking for it.
record it. Yeah, that'd be funny.
Phil,
Yeah.
how young were
Hey,
you
listen,
when you
it'd be something
started?
Nobody did. We're doing it.
Exactly.
How young were you when you started with your talking like this?
When I started talking like this?
Yeah, like Dean. How young were you?
Gosh, I want to say about 5 or 6 years old
So,
when
yeah, okay.
when we were watching the show on TV. That was back in the early, he started, I believe, in 1963 on NBC. And gosh, I was just, back then, I guess it was on before I was born. But yeah, I think that I just started listening to his voice. And then, also, I got to add, my brother used to do impersonations.
Oh.
So he would impersonate people like President Nixon at the time and John Wayne and all of these people. And so, he's my big brother. I want to be like my big brother. And
Yep.
so I started impersonating people too. And so that was kind of fun little thing. But I didn't really, there's a difference between impersonating somebody and then being a tribute artist. And I would consider myself a tribute artist to Dean Martin because I really pay tribute to the man, and I try to get every detail down as far as the style, the charm, the humor. everything down as much as possible. So I literally spend hours every day studying Dean Martin.
And that's what I seen the first night. That's what made me look at him, because I was like, I got Dean here. I don't got an impersonator. I got Dean. And like I told Geri with me when she asked me that question, you know, I'm a whole different category. I don't do Jerry Lewis the man.
Right.
I do Jerry Lewis the character because we shared the character.
Yeah.
He was doing me.
Yep.
Being that silly, unwanted or not taken serious, that clumsy, that was really me. And so for me, I just channeled into that character. And then as I got older, I was realizing that this guy was a man who was very brilliant, who brought this, and he became a mentor to me, but not the mentor towards Jerry, a mentor towards the character. Yeah. So when I knew it was easy for me, like Jerry just asked, how do you know when you heard the voice? I never rehearsed a day in my life. 60 years I'm doing him. I never rehearsed a day in my life. It's just there. And that's what Phil has. He just has it. And when you ask a person, what are you? I knew right away he doesn't work at this. Because like he said, when you work at it, you have a way of overdoing it. And there's a lot of guys, like, for example, doing Dean, they overdo their voice. They move their hand too much. They just too much with it. Yeah. That's the difference of someone just doing it versus overdoing it. And I knew that with him. And me with Phil, I was hoping, I hope he doesn't go nowhere, because I'm going to strap him down. I'm going to make sure he doesn't go nowhere, because this is what I've been waiting. You know, imagine doing Jerry Lewis. I'm doing Jerry Lewis the kid at 20 and 30. After he left Dean, he was still 33, 34 years old. I'm 68 doing Jerry at 30. So it only tells me the character is what I have. Right. And that's what he created. Because if you think about it, when Jerry hit after 40 and 50, he couldn't do that character no more. He had to become serious. And that's when he got into Mark Scorsese. He did the on the play, he did the devil, forgot what they called that play. He became a serious actor because he couldn't be that kid anymore. But me, because I truly channel, that kid will never leave me. So I just got to make sure I look good as Phil when I'm doing Jerry, because I got to keep youthful. I got to stay youthful to do the Jerry. And I try to do that every day. I try to do anything I can to keep you. And what is that? I just drink and eat and don't care. So that's my way of doing it.
Well, Ina says she wants to know about you doing the typewriter scene, of course, from Who's Minding the Store. It's her favorite scene. Ina, I have the video of him doing it at one of my benefits he did for me. I will send it to you. He is incredible, ridiculous. Jerry, can you do a minute for her?
I'm going to see. Wait, let me see something.
All right.
Hold on. Let me try. You guys talk. You talk to Phil. Let me see something.
You talk amongst yourselves. Is that what you're trying to say? Talk amongst yourselves. He always does this to me. Sometimes he walks off the stage, and I'm there with my thumb up my ass saying, well, what am I supposed to do now? So I have to come up with some joke for the audience, and hopefully they'll laugh until he comes back, and then he comes back, and then it's like, oh, well, here we go again. But a lot of times I have no idea what he's going to do or what he's going to come out as. I mean, we have a rough sketch of a script. I'd say, a lot of our ideas are written on a napkin, and we just kind of go over it and go, yeah, that'd be funny. Let's try that. And that's the other thing too. It's very creative in terms of coming up with, we'll try different things to see if this sticks with the audience and see if they're going to like this. And sometimes they do. Most of the time they laugh, but we're so into laughing at ourselves and we don't even know if they're laughing. So it's kind of fun that way. But
they are laughing.
Yeah. How's that, Angelo? Do you need more time? You need me to buy some more time?
I'm going to see if you tell me if you could hear this.
All right.
Could you hear this?
Yes.
Yes. Come on, do a little. All right. Here, this is for you, Ina.
Do it, baby. Oh. He's gone.
The music's gone, but that's all right.
Music's gone?
Yeah.
It's all right.
Okay.
That's what happens with Zoom.
I'm hearing it. But
Oh,
you
there
guys
it
are
is.
not hearing.
Right.
No.
But I'm going to send it to her. Don't worry. But listen, Ruben
Okay.
asked a question on screen, and he wants to know, of course, is Jerry Lewis your favorite character?
Jerry Lewis is my only character.
It's his
Yeah.
only character. There you go, baby. I knew you were
I
going to say
don't,
that.
I like I said, I channel in. I don't think about impressions or doing other people. I am just the boy who grew up with a character as Jerry Lewis, and I'm giving what he did, and hopefully I could give it to someone else and make his legacy move on.
When you walk into a room, Angelo,
Yeah.
people just immediately start laughing.
Well, you know, even when I'm not doing Jerry,
Right.
Even if I'm with my wife, somebody will come over to me and go, you know, you look like Jerry.
That's right.
And I'm like, okay. Or your hand gesture, your face. I just seen you drop something, and that I was in a restaurant. I dropped a napkin, and naturally, I just go into like, I
Right.
dropped something. I pick it up. Someone got up and said to me, "You just did Jerry Lewis." I said, "Well, I do Jerry Lewis." They said, "No way." I said, "Yeah," and I showed them that I did Jerry. They were like blown away. They wanted to take me home. I was like, "No, I
Listen,
can't."
don't
I'm with my
blame him,
wife.
man. Wait, so all right. So I'm going to share something that you shared with me.
Yeah.
Actually, this was on our very first interview, and I'll never forget this. You said, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I remember getting from it. You said that your mom brought you to the movie theater. You were young. You're sitting in front of the big screen, and you're seeing The Nutty Professor.
Yes.
And you looked at your mom, and you said, "Mommy, why is this man making fun of me?"
Yes.
Can you just
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about that? Because that is
Okay.
what this is about.
What happened was my mother and I, she was my partner. My father worked, did 2 jobs, and my brother was 5 years older, so he was looking for girls, and I was stuck with mom. So my mother said, "Let's go to the movie." So we went to the first movie she took me was Cleopatra, 3 hours. Imagine a 9-year-old sitting 3 hours watching Cleopatra. The only good thing about it is that's when I realized I liked women, because looking at her, I started tingling. So now I said, now let's go see The Nutty Professor, because Jerry was getting into my brain at that time.
Okay.
And what happened was, it was just before we went to that movie. I said to my mother, "What's this guy making fun of me, Ma? Because he's making my faces and he's clumsy, and you know who I am," because my mother was the only one who really knew who I was, because she protected me. And she said, "No, think about what he's doing. He's sharing you. He's giving people like you a chance to see that this is normal. There are people like you out there." So what that did for me was like, wow, I felt like that's when I realized this guy could be my hero. So now we go see, he comes out, big thing, big advertisement, The Nutty Professor. I said, "Ma, we got to go." Now, I wasn't doing the voice then. I was doing his faces because they were real to me. I was clumsy like him. I was doing the actions, and there I was sitting in the chair. When Nutty first came on, I'm looking at him, and I'm like, wow. And all of a sudden, I looked at my mother. My mother shook her head like, and I just looked down, and I went, "Actually, I heard his voice in my head, and I did that voice before I did anything else, because that's what it really was. It was just that voice that brought me to, hey, I didn't know it was that, because it's just the tone down, and it's a little more squeakier. That's all it is. That's Jerry and Dean." And that's when I started to do Jerry at 9 in the bigger way. But the problem was, I'm 9 years old. Where am I going? I'm not going nowhere. So it was my ghost for many years. My ghost for many years. Until I got to high school. I got to high school and I started doing Jerry a little bit here and there. One day I had the teeth and glasses in, and I got a picture of it. I'm 15 years old. I had crappy teeth and glasses. And those days, these glasses were big. And she caught me. And the principal said, "Hey, Angelo, you want to do that on the loudspeaker? Nobody will see you." We had 5,000, Fort Hamilton High School, Brooklyn, New York, 5,000 kids. There I was. I got on the loudspeaker. Nobody could see me. I went, "Actually, everybody get to your room. It's homeroom. Actually, we're just going to actually just," and I just was going off, saying something. I don't even know what I said. But understand, the 3 years that I was in high school, nobody knew it was me because they didn't see me. And I didn't throw myself to anybody because, I did it close friends. But besides that, I didn't go out there. I didn't think about a career or anything. So I would just do it in my moments until, believe it or not, in 1970, I started doing it again and coming out. But imagine it took me to 2015 to do what I'm doing now. So that's that story.
Wow. And, Angelo, all kidding aside, I'll never forget when you told me that the first time, because it was magical and it made everything come together. Seeing your character, now knowing you as a person, it made everything come together. I want to say something, and then we're going to talk to Phil, but I want to say something to everyone out there listening. Angelo, and he talks freely about it, he's had a lot of challenges. Look what he's done with them. He's turned them into something incredible. Angelo, give everyone listening just a little bit of encouragement about challenges and what they can do with it.
Okay. For people who didn't hear my story and new people are hearing it, my challenges was, this is early 60s. I was dyslexic. And dyslexic is a reading problem. It's a severe reading problem. I was literate. I couldn't read one word on a book. So, you imagine growing up, and we grew up in the streets. We didn't grow up behind a phone or a computer. We were amongst the kids. And my challenge was every day hiding that I couldn't read. I couldn't understand, because dyslexic is seeing everything in its way of being the opposite or backwards or confusing. I had to always watch what I said, what I did, not to look foolish, not to feel like not the rest of the kids. And that was a challenge. I had many nights crying in my bed because I felt like, oh, I said this stupid one day. I did that. So what I did, when Geri came along and I was that character, now put the character in your mind. Don't put Geri in your mind. Right. Put the character when he, minding the mint and he had the vacuum cleaner and it was all over the place. Well, I really did that because I couldn't read instructions. I was too anxious to get it done. That's what dyslexia gives you. It gives you anxiousness because you feel like, I don't know how to get it done. So you get anxious to get it done. And when you're anxious to do anything in life, you don't do anything right in life. So I was challenged. And then by the grace of God, I came into myself and I just cried out to God, help me. Well, again, by the grace of God, I graduated high school. I had tutored every day of my life for 12 years in school. I say I had it for 8 years of my life, 9 years of my life. I'd be playing stickball out in the street. And I said, guys, I got to go help my mother. She just came for groceries. It was a lie. The tutor was waiting for me. Oh. So I could learn to read and write and make sure I'm doing everything. And then ran out there like, oh, guys, it was an hour. I had to help my mother. There are many people who are my friends today. And I came from a big crowd and we're still together. 55 years later, I come from a big crowd and we have a reunion all the time. We are together. They don't even know. Some of them, most of them don't know what I had because I hid it all my life. So, and now I don't feel I have to explain myself. Why? What Geri said. I arose to the occasion. I arose. Here's what I just told Geri before we got online. I just realized in the last 3 years, I know how to write comedy. I know how to write. Writing, I might not write it. My dyslexic comes in and I give it to my wife and she straightens it out. But I know how to write comedy. And I never knew that until now. Like, wow, I could write comedy. I could write a script. But I would have never thought then that I could even think of trying to do that. And that's the problem. Thinking is everything. Your mind, if you renew your mind, you will have what your mind tells you. If you think you're a failure, you will be a failure. If you think you're as good as the next one, and you don't have to be great, just good. And you'll get by and you'll be happy because I'm not a positive thinking person. I'm a positive person in my thinking. And there's a difference. When I see challenges, I try to throw myself into it. But if it's not real, if it's telling me no, because you got to listen to your gut, then put it aside, put it away, and go after the things that you think you could do that still may be challenging, and try to get the victory out of it. And that's to tell a person when I talk to young kids, there's something about Jerry. I always bring the Jerry story in with the dyslexia and the reading, because Jerry wasn't the good reader. He wasn't the good storyteller. He was the pity kid. He was feel sorry for me. But the character of Jerry was very rewarding, because he pulled back on that and made you love him, not pity him.
Well,
So I take that and I say, all I want to do is, if I keep that making people love me versus pity me, I will overcome. And
Well,
that's that.
I have to say something to you, and then we're going to give Phil the mic.
Go ahead.
You've made it clear that no matter what your challenges are, you can overcome. You know, guys, I've heard some other people say to me, you know, I use this, whatever it is, my challenge of this or that or this, to my advantage. And I've helped so many people based on, and if I didn't have that challenge, I wouldn't have known or even known how to handle it to help others. So what you've done, Angelo Capone, my Jerry Lewis, listen, you've helped so many people, and you may not even know it, but I'm here to tell you that that's a fact. I love you, man, and you're incredible. We're going to give
Jeff.
Phil the mic for
Coming
right
from
now.
coming from you, that's
And it's
big.
the truth.
Thank you.
We're going to give Phil the mic now, and then after we're done talking and all, I want you guys to do some funny stuff for us. But Phil, take the mic, because I want you to share a little bit more about your story as well, and anything else that you want everyone to know. Please talk to us.
Well, you know, I think you're right about Angelo. I think he's helped a lot of people. And I think a lot of times, including yourself, Jerry, you know, we put things out. We have no idea the ripple effect it's going to have. And there are people listening to you right now and Angelo right now that may be struggling in either problems with dyslexia or maybe even addiction. And you're both an inspiration for overcoming those challenges. And, you know, I personally am grateful for people like yourself that are willing to share stories in regards to overcoming difficulties and things like that. I of course have had, you know, my challenges as well. I'm only human, and you know, it sometimes you can get really down in the dumps, and sometimes it's really hard to pull yourself out of that. I have had times in my life where I've been very depressed, and have found that with the help of others, there are techniques out there that you can learn, and you can overcome, you know, depression or things like that. But sometimes it's very difficult, and unfortunately, there's a lot of people in our country that are facing depression. I think, you know, especially in this world where there's so many, so much anger out there, and it gets very isolating with technology and all that stuff. But you know, one of the goals that I think Angelo and I both share is to bring happiness to people in is the way that Dean and Geri did. You know, we're able to connect with people, and even though it's silly and, you know, maybe sometimes a little offensive. I don't know. What do you think, Angelo?
Yeah, but we need to get back to laughing at ourselves.
That's just it. That's
Yes.
just it, you know. And that's exactly what we want to do, and that's exactly what I want to do. You know, I always like, you know, poking fun at myself, and if I don't, my wife does. So, you know.
And I'll help, huh?
Yeah, I noticed that, Jer.
I love making fun and being made fun of.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how
Yeah.
we grew up. That's human connection.
Well,
See,
I'm
I-
glad you said that, Jerry, because I got a list of things I want to make fun of you about. And,
Come on, let's hear it,
we'll
baby.
get to that later.
Make fun of me about something. I mean, come on, man.
you know what's being made fun to me and imitating or making fun of someone, to me it's an honor
Yes.
Yeah.
because that means you recognize me.
Yeah.
You know, think about the person who doesn't get recognized because they didn't honor them in any way.
Yeah.
They got to be sitting there like, what's wrong with me?
Oh,
And I
Yeah.
think that's the world we're living in right now. What's
You're-
wrong with me
you're
because we're
right.
so political correct
I
that we
hate
don't
it.
know how to make fun of each other
I
anymore.
hate it.
Yeah. I think
So-
that's true.
Can you guys
Yeah,
do
it's-
something funny for us? Can you do a little something?
Well, it's, you know, it's hard. It's hard because me and him, you know, to do something
No, hey,
on that
Jerry,
stage.
Jerry, I want to correct you right now. I just want to make it clear to the audience. It's not
Okay.
hard right now. That'll be later.
Well,
It's not
the-
hard.
Oh, well, the problem is, I don't know. I'm only 9 years old. I didn't reach that yet.
Well, you know, well, I think 9 years or 9 inches. I always get those two confused.
Well, I don't have inches. I don't have inches.
You know,
I wish I had feet, but I don't even have feet.
what do you
but
got?
I got,
What you got, I think I want. I don't know.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
Well, that's perfect. That's
Yeah,
exactly what
yeah.
I want.
I want to get back to what Jeremy said, which was great. You know,
Yeah.
when talk about depression, you know,
Okay.
I can honestly say this for myself. Having this character of a 9-year-old, I don't know what depression means. When people say that, I never understood it. My depression was the dyslexic, not me. So that's the way you gotta challenge it. When you look within, you'll never see what you have. That's putting you in that place. So when I grew up, I looked at the dyslexic and the literate thing, not the thing of me. I knew I was okay because I was living.
Yeah.
So I knew how to separate to get in that place of depression. I don't know what that means. And having that 9-year-old, it just makes me, what kid do you know is really, I mean, today they're sad because they've been locked down and they've been told you can't do this, you can't do that. But we grew up being free.
On
And
the
so
streets,
what 9-year-old was depressed? You know, their parents were depressed in those days. That's why they were drinking, smoking. But I don't know what that means. So that's what I bring to the stage. I'm bringing, let's not be depressed tonight. Let's have funniness and silliness
Right.
with each other.
I want to read a poem to you guys because, all right, this is a poem in my book. I'm a poet and I know it. This poem resonates with a lot of people because what I want to share with you guys is this. Everyone is born with gifts and talents. These two guys right here are perfect examples of it, okay? God didn't say, well, I love you more, so I'm going to let you do this. I don't really love you, so I'm not going to give you a gift. That is so not true, and unfortunately, some people believe that. We're all born with something. It's up to us, though, to figure it out and utilize it. I'm going to read this poem I wrote, and I think it's super appropriate with this show today. And it's called Utilizing Gifts and Talents. We are born with talents. We are born with drive, with different gifts to help us thrive. I knew early on I was born to draw and paint, to also write poetry, and to talk without restraint, you think? Our gifts and talents should all be used, God's gift to us, not be abused. We can go far in life for sure, using our gifts to go on tour, like these two guys. All our talents should be used to create ourselves and more, but then our job's to share them, to even up the score. You see, in life, what's needed is not just for ourselves. Once our gifts are mastered, take them off the shelves. A living we can make by spreading them around, not just for the money, but to spread a peaceful sound. Don't take for granted the gifts you're given. Go out and spread the joy. Your gifts are not to be held back for you to self-destroy. Put your efforts forth. Do not hesitate. All your talents, my friend, are never second rate. Never hold them back or you will surely die. Maybe not in body, but your soul will cry. Our gifts were made to share, our talents made to soar. Go through life enlightened and then you can roar. Be proud of who you are. Be happy you're alive. Once again, my friend, your gifts will help you thrive. By putting efforts forth, not keeping them at bay, your name will live forever, forever and a day. That's right, boys. Go through life excited, for what you sure can give to yourself and others is our reason to live. Our grave will be quite lonely, but your legacy lives on. Make sure people smile with the breaking dawn. And that is what you boys are doing. Just you guys walking in a room, people smile.
Well, to get what you just said, which you said it was a lot. When hearing that, that's what me and Phil, and we have John Sargenti behind the scenes who's producing and helping us put this all together. Yeah. We want to get out there and bring this, make it a tour, make it something more than just going and we want the world to see that if they were a lightning in a bottle then, we don't have to be the lightning in the bottle. We have to be the magic to bring that lightning bottle of their legacy through us. And that's what we want to do. We are right now working behind the scenes. We have a musical director, and forgive me, Nancy, I forgot your last name. That's my dyslexia. She's our musical director.
That's a really good excuse, man. That's a really good excuse. All right, continue.
Yeah. Oh, listen, I use it all the time.
I'm terrible with names. I'm going to start pretending that. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it's true. That's the sad part with me. It is true. But if it's a good trick for everybody else. So Nancy's our musical director. She has a 17-piece band, and we teamed up with her. I mean, me, and I can believe Phil feels the same. It's a privilege that we hooked up with a 17-piece band. We can be as real as we want to be as Dean and Geri. Because Phil is Dean. I know I'm doing Geri. Now we got a band behind us that they had a band behind them that made them that extra, that gave them that more live performance. And we have the material. We have the scripts. We just want to bring this to the next level. And that's what we're shooting for. We're talking to a guy in London and trying to bring us over there and selling the show over there. We're talking to a guy in Kentucky. We came up with an RN. We threw this guy about doing Martin Lewis Goes West. Nothing, no tuxedos. Everything is country. Gotta remember, Dean did so many country albums, and Geri just put him in a funny cowboy outfit. We created a show. And this is what we have. We have things to offer. We have ways to say, legacy was Dean and Geri. We want to continue it with Phil and Ange and John and Nancy. We want to bring it to the next level. And it's got to start somewhere. And we're happy that we're here with you to start this. So we're very grateful.
Oh, my gosh.
And your poem says it all. It says it all.
Thank you.
I couldn't hear it any better than that.
So, all right, Phil.
Yeah.
Give us a little Dean. Give us a minute of Dean.
You want a little Dean? Hang on, let me get my glass filled.
There you go.
I thought you were 9 inches.
As Angelo knows, I'm on that all whiskey diet, and it works. I've already lost 4 days.
So
that bartender was kind enough to mix up a special concoction because, Geri, you and I are about the same age, and he made it out of Viagra and prune juice. Yeah. The only problem is I don't know if I'm coming or going.
Oh my God.
Hey,
right.
Keep going.
Come on.
Keep going.
You
get it?
More. Come
You
on.
get it?
You want some more drinking jokes, do you?
I don't
Yeah,
care.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm now, I don't know if I told you this, Jer, but I'm now considered a light drinker. Yeah, whenever it's light, I start drinking.
Oh.
And just before the show tonight, some little old lady came up to me and said, Dean, I watch you every night in bed. And I said, well, my TV show is only on once a week. She said, who needs a TV? I peek right through your window. All right, that's it. That's it.
First of all, wait, I want to comment, and then you're up next, Geri. All right, so listen, Phil, I want to comment.
Oh, God.
I usually close my eyes to really hear it, but I couldn't stop looking at you because you're cracking me up. All right? So, again, you're really great, okay? You are so ridiculously cool. You've
And
got
when he
it.
gets in that tuxedo, Jerry, and gets on
Forget
that
it.
stage,
Forget it.
It just comes
Okay?
over. It's amazing. It's
So-
just over the top.
Amazing. All right. Thank you for that. That was so cool. All right. So now let's have it, Jer.
Oh, well, here I went to the dentist today, and the guy before me had to get his tooth pulled, and the doctor said, "All right, listen, I'm going to give you this needle." And he says, "No, I'm afraid of needles. I can't take needles." He says, "All right, well, I'll give you this mask. You put this for gas." He goes, "No, I get claustrophobia. I can't do that." He goes, "All right." The doctor said, "All right, I'll be right back." He came back with a glass of water and Viagra. He says, "What am I going to do with this? You'll have something to hold on when I'm pulling your tooth."
Oh, yes.
Me and my wife, we have two romantic dinners every week. The difference is she goes on Fridays, I go on Tuesdays.
Mm-hmm.
These are just little jokes. See, I'm more out there getting with the people. See, that's the whole thing about me and Dean.
Yeah.
We're audience people. We're about the audience.
Yeah.
Even though that they did comedy and they did their TV show, they did the act towards each other like they weren't there.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. That's the difference when we get together. It's for each other in that way that we're putting on Dean and Jerry.
Wait.
And the audience just got to follow.
Give us
They
the
wanna see
hey
they gotta follow.
lady.
That's
Give
it.
us the hey lady. Come on.
Hey lady.
Did you pull something?
Yeah, I lost it. I don't know. Something fell.
Yeah, I thought I saw that.
And again, it's about, you know what I love? It's about seeing the show. That's where we are.
Yeah.
That's where the realness comes, when the show begins.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see, a lot of performers could just sing and they hear the song. We're not that. We're about live, coming to see us, and we get in the
Interaction
moment.
and
And we are the
interaction.
moment.
I mean, I've been to your shows. It's all about the interaction. You walk
Yeah,
out, listen, you walk in the room, everybody cracks up, and I'm not kidding, just cracks up laughing. Okay?
And wait till you see him. He does the same thing.
Okay.
He has what Dean had in his humor is what Phil is giving off. Because Dean he was humorous in his jokes. He knew how to lead in and lead out. Jerry was about to scream. So them coming together in their different ways makes you want to not miss anything.
Amazing.
I can't explain it any better than that. Does that make sense?
Amazing.
Well, it's like explaining slapstick. A lot of what we do, sometimes I'll grab Angelo's face in a way, and grab him by the jaw or something. And he's not expecting any of that, but
Right.
that's the kind of slapstick humor that we do. Just silly, random stuff. And
All in the moment.
all in the moment. Yeah, that's very much it. That's our show. It's very
Right.
much in the moment. And I think that's what's missing in a lot of production now is it's so scripted and
Yep.
rehearsed and all of that stuff that there's not that live, unique interaction with the audience.
That's
Connection
right.
with the
right.
audience. And
And
that's what Andrew and I got.
That's what I was trying to explain to Jerry
Yeah.
before we got on.
Yeah.
There's no more acts like you and me. It's
No.
between you got 5 singers doing a show,
Yeah.
or you got a stand-up comedy club, but in between is you and me.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to bring back is the us in variety, because
Right.
it started with variety.
That's right.
And Jerry, I want you. There's a little homework for you.
Okay.
Oh.
I want you to go and Google Dean and Jerry
Okay.
when they talked and did interviews. They were what me and Phil are talking right now. They talk about what they do. They weren't funny in that moment. They weren't trying to be funny.
Right.
They were like, come and see us, because who we are now is not who we are then.
That's right.
And that's what me and Phil do. We are being them in the realness that we possibly can, because we're not the scripted guys. We're the spontaneous laughter. We're the spontaneous romantic song coming out of Dean. You never heard Dean sing in an interview. Google them. There were 2 guys talking the way me and Phil are talking. But when
Well-
they got on that stage, they were 2 different guys.
The
They
producer,
become the act.
the producer is typing. You guys are great. So Hamilton Radio loves you. I have a serious question for both of you. All right.
Go ahead.
So everyone and anyone out there, especially in our age category, should remember the reunion when Jerry Lewis was surprised by Dean Martin.
I was there. I was
Okay.
there.
I want to hear from each one of you how it made you feel. Okay, so Phil, tell me first.
Go ahead.
Well, it's funny because Dean, his demeanor changed throughout the years, and like Jerry, he became different characters. Really, he wasn't, when he was with Jerry, he really wasn't so much the drunk character
Right.
that he
And he
later
never
developed.
drank.
And when he came out on stage, when Frank was there, of course, and Frank brought out Dean, he says, "I got a friend, I want you to meet," something like that. And then I think it was maybe Jerry who said, "Are you working?" Is that right, Angelo?
Yeah, right.
Working,
Right.
right. Because they would always tease each other about that. But it was a kind of a strained relationship. And I think when they were back there on stage, when they got together, there was just that brief moment of, oh yeah, this is what it was like. This is that magic.
You
Yeah.
got it. You
Yeah.
got it right on the head. You got it right on the head.
Yeah.
Now, you got to understand, I was there. Not to
Okay.
interrupt you. Finish? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You
I
always
was there.
interrupt me. Why are you
was the week-
apologizing now? You always
Well,
interrupt me.
I know I'm going to get hit later. That's
You're
why.
going to interrupt me again. Okay,
That
now
whole
I'm going to go ahead and talk. See, there you go again, interrupting
No,
me.
go ahead. I'm
Just
sorry.
finish-
Go ahead.
All right, now I'm
Don't
going to.
you just talk. Don't worry about me.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish this story. So then, I think when they went out on, there you go again, leaning into the camera. You see, you're interrupting. All right,
I'm listening.
Go ahead.
No, I was there that whole week, and it was a surprise to me. So the surprise means it's meant to be. That's what I learned. When you have a surprise party and you get surprised, you have to look like it was meant to be. Why? They meant it for you to be surprised. They gave you something. That Dean and Jerry, I was there when he walked on.
Uh-huh.
The thing was that people didn't realize. My father and I, prior to that, used to say, "You think Dean's coming out? You think Dean will ever come out?" 1975, it was a split screen. Sinatra was in New York. I believe it might have been Tony Orlando. I love to talk to him one day. And
I have talked
Jerry
to
was,
Tony Orlando, Ange.
yeah.
I'll have to tell you, yeah, I've talked to Tony Orlando.
Yeah, I would love to talk because he was a big Jerry fan, and I would like to tell him
yeah.
what I do and how I do Jerry and the whole 9 yards
He
because I
lives,
want
in,
feedback.
he lives in Branson now, in Branson, Missouri. So when we go there with our show,
He's there. He's there.
We'll make sure we hit him up.
So that year before, Sinatra was doing the split screen, he was singing, and people didn't catch this. And I'm saying, it's sad that they don't always show you that first. He says at the very end, "Thank you, Jeff, for bringing me here. And next year, I'm going to bring some friends." And it stayed with me that whole time. But not knowing that I was going to be in Vegas, it just stayed with me that friends. Who else would he bring out? And when he said friends, I thought of Sammy. I thought of Dean. But not just Dean, but it stayed with me. So now I'm here. And it's a surprise to me. I'm in this place when he said, it was like I relived the year before. I have a friend here wants to, I knew it was him. I said, this is Dean. When he opened that curtain, I seen him. I want to tell you something. I didn't look at Dean the whole time. I looked at Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry didn't know where to go,
Right.
when to go,
I agree.
and how to go. But what's beautiful about Jerry, Phil hit it right on the head. As soon as they locked eyes, they were back to where
That's
they
right.
were.
That's right. I saw
Now,
the
I'm going to
same.
give you a little secret that I feel.
Okay.
Go back and look at the video. What I heard through the years, Sinatra, you got to remember, I drove Dean. I drove the Sinatra Clam. I drove his wife. I was a limousine for my very close friend who passed, who was a brother to me, who gave me work. It was always said that, it was hidden. It was a hidden thing. I always believed that Frank knew he was bringing Jerry there. So hook by crook. He was bringing him there, hook by crook. And when he came in
I didn't look at Dean at all. All I did was look at Jerry.
Me too.
Jerry's face was like, I don't believe
Right.
we are sharing the stage. Now, here's the
I
secret.
agree.
Wait, just hear this. Go back to the video and look at the very end. Dean did not want to go.
I agree.
It was told, the deal was, take me off the stage. Now, I don't know if Dean said it or someone told Dean, and that stayed with me. There I'm sitting watching Dean. He didn't want to go. He walked over to the toe board. He walked over here. They pulled him off. Frank took the wire and pulled him off. He didn't want to go. He wanted to stay there with Dean, with Jerry, because the chemistry came back.
Yeah.
It was just there. You can't let go of fire. You got to blow it out. That's what happened. They blew out their fire. The fire just was starting to happen. And if Dean didn't leave, I know Jerry was walking over. Something would have happened. But they took him. Look at the video.
Okay.
They snatched him right out of that,
Okay.
out of there. And I always said, wow,
It was
if they would have let Dean go, there would have been interacting that we never expected ever to ever happen.
It was
But
priceless.
it was what it is, and that's it. And that's what it. But I'm an analyzer because of who I am with Dean and Jerry. I stood there and said, this guy didn't want to go nowhere. He didn't want to go nowhere. He loved being there, because you got to remember, he's the one who started this telethon with Jerry. That's kudos to him.
That's right. A lot of people don't know that. But
No.
both Dean and Jerry started the MD telethon back in the 50s, and they worked together on it. Yeah.
Right.
That's
53.
Right. That's right. That's correct.
Yeah. You know, they did. They complimented each other a lot, even through the years. You know, if you listen to they're always ranking on each other. When Frank,
Absolutely.
when Dean moved the mic, he go, Jerry, get over here. They were always interacting.
He'd move the microphone stand and say, "Oh, excuse me,
right.
Jerry." Yeah, excuse me, Jerry.
They never stopped anywhere with each other, because you can't put out a fire.
No,
You
it's
can't put it
amazing.
out.
Well, and there was never a duo like that could do what they did, you know? I mean, what they did on stage, what they brought on stage was so unique that when Frank and Sammy and the Rat Pack, where they would try to recreate that same magic, it wasn't the same. It had to be completely different. And
It wasn't the same.
And anytime, if you watch movies or anything later on of Dean Martin, anytime there was a comedian or something like that interacting with Dean Martin, it wasn't the same thing as Dean and Jerry.
You're right.
Dean and Jerry just, you know, and the thing about it, and I really hope that people will get out, you know, and start going to theater again and all of this, you know, post-pandemic. But the thing about Martin and Lewis is the connection with the audience, that magic connection that was so intimate. You know, they'd mess with everybody in the audience and they wouldn't care. They'd cut people's ties. You know, they would put their salad on their
Imagine that
head.
today.
They wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Jerry wouldn't he wouldn't care if he said he went to a man and said, "Is this your wife?" Oh, she's ugly. He didn't care.
That's right.
He didn't care, because you know
That's
why?
right.
We were the day. I want to be part of the act.
Right.
Amazing.
That's right. That's right.
And
And
today-
they would make the audience part of the act.
Yeah, and
They
that's
would
what
bring it
me.
in.
And that's when, like Jerry, when you say do something, me and Phil about the people. We're about
Yeah,
them.
exactly. We would have to
And
be there in the studio with you, Jerry, and we would have to start picking on you or something.
I would love
You
it.
know,
but
for it to work.
listen, you couldn't do it, but all right, that's going to happen. All right, that is going to happen in the spring. Okay,
That'll
we're going to
be
book
fun.
this now. If you guys promise to come live in studio in the spring together.
Oh,
We'll look into it. It depends, you know, on our bookings and that sort of thing, but
Right.
it'd be a lot of fun.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it would be even more fun, Jerry, if you could arrange to bring in a few of your friends, maybe have a little
Excuse
studio
me.
audience.
Excuse
and then
me.
we
Oh,
could-
no,
we could play
no. Surprise, surprise, surprise. You don't know what I do in this studio, okay?
I heard about it, but I don't know how
No,
stripper pole anywhere.
No.
We'll leave that to her.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
again, we again,
Yes.
again, like we're just trying to bring this to the next level, and you know, it's okay to think that way. It's okay to be that.
When
because-
all right, now listen. All right. I'm not going to tell you who, but I already have this in my head. You will freak out with this guy that I'm going to ask to come in studio. Okay? you will freak out. It's already been in films, and when you will freak out. He came live in studio to meet me. All right, I'm not telling you.
Okay.
All right,
That'll
anyway,
be a surprise.
All right.
Good.
So we got to work this
I like
out.
surprises.
All right,
Yeah,
anyway.
me too.
All right, so guys, listen. We still have a few more minutes. I don't want
Okay.
you guys to forget anything you want to say, or like how to get in touch with you, your websites, whatever it is. What's up and coming.
So our
take the
website is
mic.
Martin and Lewis, Martin and Lewis Together Both. Our producer is John Sorgente in America. And the way you can get in touch with us is we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. We have our Martin and Lewis Together Both everywhere, right? Are we on Twitter, Jer? I mean,
I don't know. I think John maybe did it. I'm not sure yet. Going to do that.
But that's a great way. Another way, you could go to my website as well, philsolis.com. And, you can get in touch with us that way as well. But yeah, it's pretty easy. In fact, I think our number is on that bathroom wall over there, Jer, that you were at.
Our phone number is 866-193-8987. You imagine I got it right? I don't believe it.
That number one more time.
866-913-8987.
There you go.
And we're at Martin and Lewis 39 at gmail.com. If you want to email us to do any bookings, we're there.
Right.
And we have an upcoming show in the area of the Monroe, Jamesburg area, January 27th. It's a Saturday at the Elks Club. Any information, I think Geri has the promo I sent her. She could put that up. You could go to my Facebook, Angelo Capone. You could see me there. I have two, Angelo Capone as Geri, and then Angelo Capone. And that'll be up. So any information, just give me a holler like this. Hey, lady, and I will answer you.
And hey, Angelo, is that how much are tickets for that? That's a ticketed event, right?
Yeah, believe it or not, right off the top of my head, it might be like $30, something like that.
Yeah, something
and you get
like
a
that,
show, you get music, you get a
and that
night show
is-
with music.
What date
It's
is
really
that?
worth it.
What date?
Yeah.
And I'm hoping Geri will be there.
What date will that be?
It's a January 27th. It's our Saturday night in Jamesburg.
Okay, so Phil, I need
You have the promo. I sent you the promo.
Okay, I have the promo. So, all right, I'm gonna check everything out. I'm gonna go into my calendar. If I have to move something, I will. Where is it at? Tell everyone again.
It's at the Elks Club in Jamesburg. It's like in Monroe area in New Jersey.
Okay.
And I will, again, have that info, and we'll all three have the info if you're looking to come for a night of fun. And you got time to get your tickets, but get them now.
Okay. So, Phil, is there anything, because he doesn't stop talking. Oh, did I say that? All right, listen, Phil, is there...
Really? I never noticed that.
Okay,
I had no idea,
I love
Jerry.
it. I love this guy. Is there anything you'd like to say? Look, he's biting at the bits over there.
Now you know why I slap him in the
Both of
face.
you.
That's the only way I can get him to shut up.
Okay.
You do pretty good, I got to say.
Well, sometimes. It really depends. My thing is singing. I just sing.
All right, G, F, G, A, L, A, I.
Get it?
All right.
All right.
All right.
Well, Jerry, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
And
so
like
much.
I say, I always like to get comfortable, so I will now.
Oh, you're bald?
Yeah,
What the hell?
This is the real me.
I've
This
been
is the
working
real
with
me.
this guy for 20 years, and I had no idea he was bald.
Take your hat off.
Yeah. Listen,
your
one
hat
thing I
off,
miss
Phil.
in life is my hair.
Phil,
Because
take your hat
I
off.
got it right here. I got
Oh,
it
all right,
right
you
here.
I didn't go bald until I was 47 years old. Now, wouldn't you think that I would have made it after 47?
Yes.
1 year, it went away. In 1 year, it went away.
Yeah, well, tell her why it went away.
Because
That's
I met
when
you.
got married.
I got married.
Oh, my God. So, guys, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I mean this. Listen,
Thank
you
you.
know I'm a huge fan anyway, and I love it, love it, love it all. And again, thank you for making everybody laugh. That's what we
Thank you.
need more now than ever, right? Is continued
Yep.
laughter and
Yep.
silliness and fun. Okay? Look at this wacko. I
Whoa.
love you
Yeah.
guys.
I mean,
don't know why.
it's not. What's nice
love
too.
you like I do.
Oh, yeah, I know you do.
I don't know why, I just do.
You could sing to me every night.
Come on, a
I
little
do.
more.
You
Oh,
just don't listen to me.
A little more. Dean, a little more.
You know, it's nice to hear. It's nice that you know that what we do on stage, but then it's nice to know what we do off stage, and that's what you gave us the opportunity today. And I
Aw.
thank you very much from the bottom of my
welcome.
heart.
Same
You're
here.
welcome.
Thank you, Jerry.
I want to
Thank
thank
you,
you
Jeff.
guys. And listen, everybody out there, you could even get in touch with me. I can hook you up with these guys. I'll get you their schedule. You have to do your best to try and see them. Because again, and they're right, it's really with the interaction of the people in the room. You will freak out. I give you my word, and in an incredible way. Guys, thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my
Thank you,
heart.
thank you, thank you.
All right.
Ruben, take us out,
See
baby.
you soon.
Take us out, Ruben.
Take us out.
Take us out, Ruben. Phil, I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, I love you.
I love you too, Pally.
Where you want me to
See you
take
later,
to?
pal.
Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do.
Just what to do, just what to do.
If what you're feeling is really true.
Is it really true? Is it really true?
Just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.